Welcome to the Caravan Show, where we discuss all things caravans. That's right, everything you need to know about caravans, from weights, towing, maintenance, appliances, renovations, buying a caravan, repairs, destinations and reviews. We'll also chat with some Aussie legends, manufacturers, suppliers and of course, people who love caravans. Take it away, Roy.
G'day folks, it's Roy here at the podcast show one more time again, talking about caravanning throughout Australia, and we're very pleased to announce that we've got the Mayor, Brett Bembow, from Port Augusta online right now, and Brett's going to have a chat and tell us a little bit about his area. So, hey, welcome, Brett, and can I first ask, mate, how long have you been Lord Mayor at Port Augusta?
Good afternoon, and thanks, Roy. Pleasure to be. I've been the Mayor of Port Augusta for the last 14 months, so I'm a baby Mayor of Port Augusta, but I've lived my whole life in Port Augusta, and this is my third term on council.
Your third term on council?
Yeah.
But fresh as the Mayor? Well,
fresh as the Mayor, fresh off the block.
That must be exciting for you.
It is. It's both exciting and daunting, but as you do, you work into the role, and it's been a magnificent experience at this point in time, and we're very excited about our city and our region. And
talking to you offline before, you've really surrounded yourself with some very good experienced people, I take it.
Most certainly, yes. We've got some great people in our council that have assisted this city for many years. So, and we've got some new fresh faces too with our elected body, and they're going through this great experience with us. Beautiful.
And you have someone there with you right now, I believe?
I do. I have Brendan Bevan, our manager of our fantastic facilities, Wadlada Outback Centre and Arid-Lands.
Fantastic. You there, Brendan?
I am, Roy. Good day.
Yes, welcome on board too.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. Good to be talking about Port Augusta.
Yeah, so talking of Port Augusta's located where?
Port Augusta is located approximately 364 k's from Adelaide, about a 3-hour drive from Adelaide, and we have our sister cities, Port Pirie and Whyalla, within under an hour drive from our location, and we're about 15 minutes from the Flinders Ranges in majority of the areas.
Now, being only 300 k's or whatever out of Adelaide, it's somewhere that's actually, you don't need to travel terribly far to get to you.
No, most certainly not. And the travel to here, depending on which direction you're coming from, is also an experience in itself.
Yeah, my listeners are predominantly caravanners. Do you have much by way of facilities for caravanners? Do you have caravan parks and free camp areas in Port Augusta?
Most certainly. We currently have 3 caravan parks situated in Port Augusta, with one at our towards the Adelaide entrance, Stirling North Caravan Park. That's just been updated and has modern cabins there also. We've got 2 caravan parks over on the west side of our town. One is placed beautifully by our foreshore, so people can wake up each morning and go for a walk along the bank and look at our Redcliffe hills in the morning, and we've got another one that's on the highway as you come into Port Augusta. So they're very all updated caravan parks and very well managed.
What about free camping facilities?
We have facilities in relation, not so much free, but the areas where we use caravans can go, and it costs you about $5 a night on a site, and that also has a dump point in it.
Excellent.
And one we have situated beautifully next to our swimming pool, and also to one of our football clubs that serve counter meals 4 days a week.
So tell me, what sort of facilities do you have by way of, is there caravan repairers and car repairers in Port Augusta?
Most certainly. We have a number of locations where caravans or vehicles can be attended to. So that won't be an issue if anybody needs any repairs conducted. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I'd say it'd be at least 10 locations of business that could serve that purpose.
Beautiful. So if they're in town, they have any issues, that they've got somewhere they can get their car or their caravans. So what would you suggest would be the most popular things that caravanners would do or go and see while they're in Port Augusta?
Well, I might let Brendan have a bit of a chat on some of those things, if you don't mind, Roy.
Yeah, please, Brendan.
Yeah, gosh, Roy. As far as things to do, really, it's there's no shortage of things to occupy your time and fill their days. Obviously, we've got the facilities that I'm looking after as far as the Wadlata Outback Centre, and I'll just dwell on that for a moment because it's a great sort of first stop, if you like, coming in, very much geared towards the caravan and the traveller. It's a great stop to get yourself some information as to what is available to you, both immediately in the vicinity and the city of Port, but also the greater regions and us around. So, as an accredited visitors information centre, which also has the award-winning Tunnel of Time in the insides of it. It's a perfect spot to come in and just tap the brains of the team behind the counter and just see what is available to you. There are literally that many things. I don't think we'd have the time to do it all today, but we've got the beautiful foreshore. The coastal regions are quite spectacular. Fishing is proving to be more and more popular, whether you're towing a boat or you've got a tinny with you, or you just fancy getting down on the lower reaches of the banks and casting a line, or going and doing some crab raking. Again, seasonally, there's certainly no shortage of activities to do from an ocean or a wet weather perspective. Getting out and doing some fishing. The Arid Lands Botanic Gardens, absolutely world-class facility, spectacular gardens, wonderful spot to just have a good leg stretch and a wander around. Great food, great coffee, wonderful plant sales as far as self-propagated nursery-grown plants, specifically arid plants, are concerned, and that's really proved to be a bit of a success story in its own right. So really a quite a spectacular place to go and stretch your legs and get around and see the beautiful Flinders Ranges, albeit from a bit of a distance. Sunrise and sunset would be my tip. Get yourself a cuppa in hand, or go and grab yourself a bit of a bite to eat and enjoy the facilities around you.
Sounds like you've got it all covered there. Hey, you mentioned one thing there that sort of struck me because I've never heard of it before, and I've certainly never heard of anyone saying that they've got something called the Tunnel of Time. So what's this Tunnel of Time?
Gosh, the Tunnel of Time is quite a spectacular centre, if you like, within the Wadlata Outback Centre. It's a real walk-through, talk-through, interactive experience where you can actually go and enjoy a bit of a historical breakdown of not only the geology of the history of 650 million years of sedimentary action throughout the region, but also a bit of a story of the evolution of not only the city but the region in its own right. So it talks about the settlement history, the train infrastructure, of course, our fantastic Pitchy Ritchie, which is not far, just up the track as well, which I would highly recommend to absolutely anyone looking for a bit of a day trip or an excursion out of port. But yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity to spend a bit of time and just indulging yourself and immersing yourself in the history of the region itself, both naturally and from a settlement perspective.
Sounds fantastic. I mean, one of the things people say they go overseas for is they're looking for more history. But of course, in reality, here in Australia, we've got as much history, if not more, than most places have got, because we can spend ourselves way back in time to these sort of things that you're talking about, which is fantastic. The other thing, of course, is your location, which is a beautiful place, I believe, to get crayfish. So I'm assuming that you would have restaurants, seafood type restaurants that would be for others to die for.
Yeah, look, we're probably a little bit too far north for the crayfish side of things, but the blue swimming crabs are quite exquisite, and the seafood as a result is also wonderful. So a multitude of opportunities from a dining perspective, whether that be something to grab on the run from a takeout perspective, or indeed, enjoy a couple of days in Port Augusta certainly would be my recommendation. There's plenty to do to fill a couple of days and treat yourself to dining out in different establishments for a few nights.
What about things like charter boat fishing? Is that something that's readily available there?
Look, we haven't currently got any charter boat fishing capability here at this point in time, but we do have a wonderful boat ramp there, and we do have an attendance from a very great number of Victorians, particularly because of our kingfish. They come up here and catch these great fish and spend a lot of time in the water. The most patient people I've ever came across in my life to sit in the water for hours and do nothing. But the prize at the end of the day, they'll come up here for a fortnight, and if they get one big kingfish, they're happy as hell. So, there is an opportunity here. Like you launch at the boat ramp here, and you're down into the deep Gulf within 5-6 minutes, and then you can go a bit further down. So you probably have to travel a maximum amount, about 15 k's by water, and you're right down next to our Blanche Harbour shacks, and you can get a variety of whiting, blue swimmer crabs. If you trawl, you'll get your salmon, snook, squid are hot on for the last month and the next month and a half. The squid are just jumping in the boat. Razorfish, you can do those at the allowable times of the year, but you can also do it by boat and go out to the middle bank and tong for those and get yourself a nice fresh razorfish to feed your family on. So great opportunities. The Upper Spencer Gulf is a fantastic area to go fishing. It's not a real broad gulf, so you're in close proximity of people or towns, or if you get in a bit of strife, or if the wind comes up, you go straight into the banks or down in the shacks.
What about for the less adventurous? Do you have clubs and so forth there for people to go to?
No, certainly. We've got our Port Augusta Golf Club that's renowned for its country championship it has every year. That runs for over 2 weeks. Unfortunately, what's occurred over the period we've just had, that may run a bit later, but that's a fantastic event, runs every year. We've got 5 football clubs that all dine and provide great food and a great atmosphere. We've got our fantastic Central Oval precinct. When you come into our town, we're the envy of many people with the facility we've got, and we've just put our brand new turf in there. So, there's a football club in there that provide meals as well. So we've got our great Afghan history, Port Augusta through the rail heritage. They came in ships many, many years ago with the camels, and they were the people that give us the railway we've got now. So there's a great restaurant called the Standpipe. If you really want some nice Indian food, prime location to go. If you go once, you'll always come back, I can guarantee you that.
There's always little secrets that towns have, something that's not mainstream, doesn't necessarily get up on Google, but the locals know about it. Have you got any secrets you want to share?
Well, mine would be, if you want to drive about 6 k's down the Shack Road, walk out on the beach, you can get a feed of crabs with a bit of wire and get some razorfish to put in a jar, and you can stay there mid-afternoon, early evening, and dab some garfish and go over the seafood feed in one day.
Beautiful. Is there a time of year that's better to travel to Port Augusta than other times of the year, or do you sort of have things happening, throughout that entire year?
Most certainly not. We don't have any travel restrictions into our city. The region's always got something that you can do or you can see.
So those people that are out there thinking today, we're still waiting for the planes to, hit the skies, and we're waiting for the ships to open up, or we're waiting for the borders to open before we start travelling. And these people are actually your locals. These are people out there in South Australia right now. What would you say to those people?
Spend your money in your local state. There's plenty to see, plenty to do. There's great opportunities. And in actual fact, your travel time is less and you get more time to relax and enjoy what you're actually doing.
Yeah, it's true. People forget that the travelling in itself is very tedious. I mean, going through airports, boarding ships, unboarding, and all the rest of it, and then you do this journey thing of getting from point A to point B. You get off the other end. We're dealing quite often with different monies, different languages, different customs, different laws. But in fact, if we actually enjoy the journey from home to where we're going, which may only be 4 or 5 hours away from home, we can actually still stop along the way, and we have none of those issues. So it makes the journey a lot more interesting, doesn't it?
Most certainly.
Guys, look, thank you so much for spending the time with me this morning, or this afternoon, should I say. Actually, what time is it over in Port Augusta?
About 1 o'clock-ish.
Okay, so we're on around the same time, which is amazing. Port Augusta is definitely on my list of places I want to go. I haven't been there. I'm sort of embarrassed to say. But I'm looking forward to the opportunity to do that in the future. So, look, guys, again, thank you so much for your time today and telling us about your beautiful place. And let's hope that you get a lot more visitors.
No worries.
Hope so. Thanks, Roy.
Just before you go, Roy, just if you remind everyone with the modern technology now, feel free to go on our Facebook page or our council website page. If we have everything to offer on that, so just a click of a button, you can learn about us very quickly.
Beautiful. That's good to know. All right. Thank you.
No, thank you,
Thank
Roy.
you.